Hello friends, good morning. Welcome to our chemistry class. Today we are going to discuss about covalent bonds and types of covalent bonds. Okay friends, let us start. What is covalent bond? See, usually we know that atoms achieve filled outer shell of electrons by sharing of electrons. Okay, means sharing means covalent bond means just we should come to know that sharing occurs. Okay, so atoms achieve filled outer shell of electrons by sharing of electrons. Okay, means in order to form the covalent bond, electron sharing should occur. That thing we should know. Okay, let us see one example friends. See, two fluorine atoms obtain filled shell of 8 electrons by sharing the unpaired valency electrons. Okay, see here we have taken two fluorine atoms. Okay, we know that fluorine is a halogen. Okay, and here it have a 7 valency electrons. We know that halogens means they have valency of 7, no? So they means in order to get octet, okay, in order to get octet means they will get octet. How they will get octet means by sharing their unpaired valency electrons. So by sharing their unpaired valency electrons, here it is getting its octet. That's actually what we discussed. See, atoms achieve filled outer shell of electrons by sharing electrons. Of course, here also the fluorine is getting its octet by sharing its unpaired valency electron. Okay, see, the bond formed as a result of sharing electrons is called covalent bond. Okay, this is the actual definition, friends. Okay, the bond which is formed as a result of sharing electrons is called covalent bond. See, here fluorine I have mentioned 7 electrons. Okay, here also fluorine, here also I have mentioned the 7 electrons. So in order to achieve or in order to get octet, see, here sharing of electrons occurs. See, now if we observe and see, if we count the number of electrons to this fluorine, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, so this fluorine got 8. In the same manner, this fluorine also has got 8 electrons. So here the covalent bond is formed in between these two. Okay, means here covalent bond is formed as a result of sharing electrons, and here it reached its octet. Okay, that is covalent bond. The same case in case of hydrogen also, friends. Okay, see, in this, see, hydrogen, yeah, for hydrogen means it has to get doublet or duplet, we can say. Okay, see, here it have a single electron, it too have single electron. So in order to get doublet, here sharing of electron occurs. So in between two hydrogens, here also a bond is formed, and that is called covalent bond, because this bond is formed as a result of sharing electrons. Okay, next, see, here I have taken this hydrogen, we may call it as radical, right? Yes, see. Okay, here means if we remove electron from this particular hydrogen atom, okay, from this hydrogen atom, here we are removing the electron. So if electron is removed from a particular atom, it will definitely get positive charge, right? Yeah, as here we are removing electron, or we can say that here the hydrogen atom loses the electron, so that here hydrogen ion is formed. Okay, from the hydrogen atom, hydrogen ion is formed. Okay, or we can also call it as proton. Okay, proton, because when hydrogen atom loses its valency electrons, only the hydrogen nucleus, which consists of single proton, remains. See, means whenever the hydrogen atom is losing its valency electron, means here it is losing its valency electron, no, then what will happen? Only the hydrogen nucleus, means here it is losing its electron, that means only the hydrogen nucleus, means here electron is lost, no, so only the proton is present within the nucleus, so we can call it as proton. Okay, next, see, here we have removed the electron. If we add, see, here if we add electron to this particular hydrogen atom, here electron is added to this particular atom, no? So that here it will get negative charge, because here we are adding electron, so that here it will get negative charge, and this is called as hydride ion. Okay, hydride ion. Okay, next, see, oxygen needs two covalent bonds to fill its octet. Okay, see, here we have taken two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom. Okay, see, here, see, oxygen needs two covalent bonds. Okay, see, usually means here the same thing friends, we have seen the covalent bond in case of fluorine, no? The same thing here also. Okay, here hydrogen needs 2 electrons, okay, to get duplet like that. Okay, here oxygen needs octet, no? So here it requires 2 electrons, okay, to fill its shell, so that here the water is formed. Okay, the same thing friends, here means here oxygen needs 2 covalent bonds to fill its shell. Here nitrogen needs 3 covalent bonds, okay, to fill its shell. Okay, see, nitrogen needs three covalent bonds to fill its shell. Similarly, carbon needs 4 covalent bonds to fill its shell, so that the number varies, okay, depending upon its valency. Okay, next is friends, in the covalent bonds, let's see about the polar covalent bond. Okay, polar covalent bond. Okay, see, polarity is nothing but the difference in electronegatives, I mean difference in electronegativities, no? Okay, let us see polar covalent bonds. Okay, the covalent bond formed between atoms of different electronegativity. So the atoms which are having a different electronegativity, so in between those two atoms which are having different electronegativities, then the covalent bond will be formed. Okay, just a second friends. Okay, see, in case of polar covalent bonds, polar distribution of charge is present. Okay, here distribution of charge, so that is polar distribution of charge is present. Okay, see, here we know, means already we have idea about this, right? Yeah, electronegativity in periods or the rows increases. So if we move from left to right in the periodic table, or we can say at if we move from left to right in periods or rows, electronegativity increases. Okay, in case of groups or columns, electronegativity decreases down the group. Okay. Okay, see, polar covalent bond has slight positive charge on one end and slight negative charge on the other end. Okay, see, if we observe the polar covalent bond, okay, we know that polar covalent bond, not only polar covalent bond, of course, any bond is formed in between two atoms, no? So especially if we observe the polar covalent bond, slight positive charge can be observed on one end and slight negative charge can be observed on another end, in the sense another atom. So negative charge is observed on the atom which is more electronegative, okay, and positive charge is observed on the atom which is less electronegative. Okay, next, see, this is actually the representation strength. Okay, this is a partial positive charge. Okay, next, this is, sorry, here I had to mention negative friends. Okay, minus charge. Okay, sorry, see, this is the partial positive charge and this is the partial negative charge. Okay, see, next, try to remember this point friends. Okay, electronegativity difference between bonded atoms is directly proportional to polarity. Means if we observe the electronegativity between two atoms, okay, if the electronegativity difference is more between two bonded atoms, then polarity will be more. So these are two means these two are directly proportional. Okay, next, see, H and Cl. Okay, if we observe the electronegativity, chlorine has a more electronegativity, so that here, as it has more electronegative nature, it will get partial negative charge and hydrogen will get positive charge. Here also friends, I have mentioned here partial positive charge on hydrogen side, partial negative charge on oxygen, because it will be having a more electronegativity. Okay, same thing in case also. Okay, see, here also I have mentioned partial positive charge on hydrogen and partial negative charge on nitrogen. Okay, means it will be having a more electronegativity, that's why it got a partial negative charge. Okay, next, see, direction of bond polarity is indicated by arrow. Okay, see, polarity, okay, bond polarity is means the direction of bond polarity is indicated by arrow. Okay, like this arrow. Okay, see, arrow in the sense, yeah, this one. See, head of arrow means in the arrow we have to observe the head. Okay, this is the head region. Okay, head of the arrow indicates negative end of the bond. Okay, if the arrow is mentioned like this, means assume that this is A and this is B. Okay, and this is the head side. Okay, the head of the arrow is this, that means this is the negative end of the bond, means it will be having more electronegativity. Okay, next, the shorter perpendicular line near tail Okay, means here just we had to put a line like this. Okay, this is a perpendicular to this, no? So the shorter perpendicular line to the tail is the positive end of the bond. So we may think that it will be having the positive charge like that. See, here I have taken HCl. Okay, see, this is a head of the arrow, that means this is a negative end of the bond. Okay, and this is the hydrogen. Okay, and here we have the what, perpendicular line. So this is the positive end of the bond. Okay, next one, see, in case of ionic bond, sharing of electrons is absent. Yeah, already we seen, no? See, in case of ionic bond, sharing of electrons is absent. Okay, in case of covalent bond, sharing of electrons is present. Okay, already I said that means just now we saw about the polar covalent bond, no? Yeah, polar covalent bond. See, in case of polar covalent bond, sharing is present, but that is unequal sharing. Okay, unequal sharing is polar covalent bond. In case of non-polar covalent bond, equal sharing is observed. Just try to remember these 3 points, friends. Okay, these 3 are actually the key points, and these are basic things, friends. Okay, just try to remember once more, friends. This one. Okay, see, ionic bond means here sharing of electrons is absent. Okay. In case of polar covalent bond, polarity means difference. So polar covalent bond means unequal sharing is present. Non-polar means here equal sharing is present. Okay, see, let us have a look at the non-polar. Okay, see, C and H. Okay, CH. This is non-polar because if we observe the electronegativity difference is almost same for these two. So that these are non-polar. Non-polar means equal sharing of electrons is observed. Okay. Okay, so see, this is non-polar. Okay. See, in case of N and H, here electronegativity difference is there. That is about 0.9. So this is polar. Okay. Here also, friends, O and H, here electronegativity difference is about 1.4. So that this is also polar. Okay. See, Na and Cl, electronegativity difference is about 2.1. So this is polar. K and F, so it is also polar because here the electronegativity difference is 3.2. So from these points we can conclude that if the electronegativity difference is more, we can say that they are polar in nature. Okay, if the electronegativity difference is very less or similar electronegativity is observed, then those bonds can be shared, those bonds can be set as non-polar bonds. Okay, hope you understood this, friends. And see, here I have mentioned electronegativities for some of the important atoms. Okay, for the hydrogen electronegativity. Okay, friends, just try to remember these, and of course I am going to give a trick to remember these electronegativity values also, friends. Okay, see, here for the hydrogen electronegativity is 2.1. Okay, 2.1. Okay, we know that in the groups electronegativity decreases down the group. So here 1, 0.9, 0.8 means, so here the electronegativity means here the electronegativity is getting decreased. Okay, okay, see, in periods electronegativity increases. Okay, here we have a simple trick, friends. Okay, see, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. Okay, here lithium have a 1. Okay, see, here just we had to add 0.5. Okay, that means 1 plus 0.5 means 1.5. The same thing, friends, continuously try to add 0.5. Okay, so that we will get the electronegativity values. Okay, for this period. So 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4. So I think this is very easy for us to remember the electronegativity values for this period. Okay, in this, see, sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine. Okay, mean this is a period, means electronegativity increases. Okay, see, 0.9, 1.2, 1.5, 1.8, 2.1. So up to here just 3 table, friends. 3 3s are 9, 3 4s are 12, 3 5s are 15, 3 6s are 18, 3 7s are 21. So up to here it is very easy for us to remember. Just try to remember these two, friends. So the electronegativity value for sulfur is 2.5 and for chlorine it is 3.0. Okay, for potassium it is 0.8, for calcium it is 1. Okay, next, for bromine 2.8 and for iodine 2.5. See, increasing electronegativity. So in periods electronegativity is getting increased, yes. Okay, see, in groups down the group electronegativity decreases. Okay, see, actually this electronegativity listed here are from scale divided by Linus Pauling. Okay, these values are taken from the scale divided by the Linus Pauling. Hope you understood this concept, friends. Thank you.